Before I start, some people have depression. That sucks. It's not their fault. They're poorly. Some people take antidepressants and they work. That's amazing. This is a tale about something different. It's about my old friend, antidepressant withdrawal. So antidepressant withdrawal, if you could please pop yourself on a Voi or environmentally vehicle of your choice and toddle off into the distance so I can get some sleep, I'd be rather grateful. No? Okay, I guess 5 a.m. is as good a time as any to document this roller coaster. And by roller coaster, I'm talking about Alton Towers Corkscrew circa 1999, you know, the one that bashed your head around so much that I wouldn't be surprised if a few unsuspecting revellers left with light brain damage. I certainly endured a little whiplash. Anyway, let's talk about antidepressants. Round 1, September 2013. Citalopram, 20 milligrams, 8 months. Prescribed because I could not function at work, because my friends found me too sensitive and too much. Apparently, the solution to my crying into my cereal before work was citalopram. And 6 sessions of me moaning about my parents to a semi-sympathetic stranger. Sorry, Mum and Dad, you didn't know I had ADHD, and no amount of 90s parenting would have knocked it out of me. Nobody ever considered whether I just might be better with a healthy breakfast, an office beyond the fluorescent strip lights and the unpredictable banging, some flexible colleagues and some friends who accepted me out of the box, because I've never really been in the box. Turns out I have ADHD. I don't need antidepressants. I need the neurotypical world to sort its shit out. Antidepressant withdrawal number 1. As you may recall, citalopram. Brain zaps, 4 to 5 months. Feeling generally wonky. Round 2. November 2016. Citalopram, 20 milligrams. Xanax, 0.25 milligrams. I mean, that one I'll take. But any lesser hand would have added benzo addiction to the list rather than just the occasional usage for a break from the brain weasels. Anyway, back to citalopram, 2.5 years. Prescribed because I had crippling death anxiety. The switch had flipped in my brain. It fell outside of my life, and functioning was out of the window. And functioning was strongly advised to take place in the aforementioned box. Life was a holding room, shaking, waiting for an oblivion I can never understand. I didn't have any cereal to cry into this time, only kimchi. So I had to make do with weeping in the shower. You can't cry in kimchi. I didn't fit in at work, but we all thought that was because it was foreign. Nobody, especially me, ever considered that all I needed was a bit of flexibility and to stop getting crammed into that ever-shrinking box. Turns out I don't fit in the fucking box. Turns out I have ADHD. I do not need antidepressants. Antidepressant withdrawal 2, citalopram. Freakish and terrifying brain zaps for about a year, which the doctors said didn't exist. Of course, they must be right. Hippocratic bastards. Oh, also, dizziness, outrageous mood swings, and feeling generally totally fucked. Just what the doctor ordered, and subsequently denied. Round 3, mirtazapine. October 2022. 30 milligrams, 15 milligrams, 30 milligrams, 45 milligrams, 30 milligrams, 15 milligrams, 7 milligrams. None, please. Although I might need to return to 3.5 milligrams because I'm all out of faith and I can't get no sleep. Mirtazapine. prescribed for winter depression at the start of COVID winter lockdown 1. That pesky depression is so random, so categorically not related to the life circumstances and the endless darkness of a stimulation-deprived world for an ADHD brain on top of the general shit of COVID. Here, stick a mirtazapine on it, that'll sort it out. Depression not resolved after 2.5 years. Well, a lot longer if you count the other antidepressants. Cue chronic migraines as a pleasant distraction. Unemployment also a fine garnish to the cocktail. Side effects of mirtazapine, especially with changes in dose, of which there were many. Night twitches that saw a return of the crippling death anxiety. Attempted withdrawal, unadvised, 6 months later, after my relationship breakdown. And that was due to my depression, not depression, and because I couldn't get better from depression, and because my, couldn't possibly be ADHD behaviour made no fucking sense. Must be depression. I remained unemployed. This may be a precursor to a bit of sadness and anxiety for other people, but for me, it must be depression. Stick some extra mirtazapine on it. Hello, night death twitches, my old friend. 2 and a bit years later, and again against NHS advice, but given the all clear from the private psychiatrist with a dizzying salary, I've decided it's withdrawal o'clock. Side effects from mirtazapine withdrawal: insomnia, headaches, irritability, forgetting to eat, fueling all the other side effects. And therefore, the vicious circle. No rebound anxiety, no rebound depression. Low-level anxiety, but it is 2023 and this is Great Britain, so, par for the course. I was diagnosed with ADHD at 36. I've never scored so highly on a test, and I rinsed my French module at university. I didn't study French at university. My diagnosis: by a doctor? No. By a psychiatric nurse? No. By a counsellor? No. By a psychotherapist? No. By a psychiatrist? No. I've seen them all. A lot. Because I had depression. I was diagnosed with ADHD by a goddamn civil engineer who'd just done a webinar at work in his civil engineering company on ADHD. Thousands of pounds have now been spent, so I'm not sat on a waiting list for 3 to 5 years on the hellish and inappropriate antidepressant rollercoaster, waiting to start living the life I was always meant to, waiting to start to be my fucking self. Turns out I have ADHD. I do not need antidepressants. I now have ADHD medication. I pay about £400 a month for the privilege. The NHS won't yet accept the £3,000 diagnosis and treatment plan from the private psychiatrist, when all they would have to do is dish out my ADHD medication. They don't need to take any responsibility for the diagnosis. But is Madam in the market for some more antidepressants? Perhaps. The NHS will gladly provide, but you can't have the medication that you actually need. Now that I'm on the medication that I actually need, I no longer feel depressed. My anxiety is manageable. Antidepressants have been a revolving sticking plaster over a satellite wound caused by undiagnosed ADHD. And they just didn't fucking work. 37 years of my life, work, relationships, finances, all fucked. Because I couldn't cope with the world. It's not depression, it's ADHD. It's not chronic anxiety, it's ADHD. It's not bipolar, it's ADHD. I couldn't cope with the world because it wasn't built for me. I will cope with this neurotypical world because I'm going to bend it to my will. Watch out. I now have legal speed for breakfast. A neurotypical world, I'm fucking coming for you. Full frontal. Can I get a rewind? Full frontal Hannah Desmond has put the aforementioned box in the recycling. I am armed with rage and, you may have noticed, a penchant for words. Lock up your doctors. I am coming. The NHS waiting list for ADHD for a diagnosis, and that's not treatment, that's a diagnosis, in Bristol is 3 to 5 years. I'm a privileged white person with a generous set of parents who have changed their retirement plans to adorn me with salvation from the rotating NHS stick an antidepressant on it door. But what about the millions like me rolling around in the quagmire of self-flagellation and feeling like a fucking failure because they're not getting what they need and they're being told they have depression? All they need to be told is, you've got ADHD. You're valid. You don't need antidepressants. It's not you, it's me. And sorry. So now you can get on with your fucking life. If you have undiagnosed ADHD, you don't need to find yourself. You're already here. You just need to get the guidebook for your very special brain. And, well, you might need speed for breakfast. Educate health professionals about ADHD. Stop the Tories dismantling the NHS.